We have an absolute legend in our presence, a Hall of Famer, WCW legend, WWE legend, and a man who has had a second and third act unlike anyone in the wrestling business. He has changed people's lives. They say he is one of the most selfless people on the planet because all he has done since leaving the wrestling business is change people's lives with his DDP yoga, with all his businesses. And he now has a new show out on Tubi. It's called Change or Die, in which he is doing his damnedest to change the lives of the likes of Butterbean, Buff Bagwell, and people that you've never heard of. He is a tour de force. He is one of a kind. He is inimitable. He is often imitated, but never, ever duplicated. He is the one and only, the master of the diamond cutter. Is he there? Yes. Diamond Dallas Page. Wow. My man. Where are we going? This way? Let's go. Let's hug it out. This is nice. How are you, my friend?
Unstoppable.
Oh my gosh. What a response. Thank you so much for coming in. This is a huge honor. This is surreal for me to see you in the flesh like this.
You know, mainly just doing the Zooms everywhere.
Yes, yes.
When I get here, you know, get to come to Manhattan, you know, I'm going to do the rounds, and for sure, you're the first person I thought about. You know?
I appreciate that so much. Let me put the microphone a little bit closer to you. Yeah, there we go. You have such a great voice. How are you?
I'm great. I came off the heart.
Yes, a bit of a scare.
I had AFib. No, it really wasn't, because I had it before. And for me, you know, because anytime you go under, you know, there's a chance you're not coming out. So I literally make my peace with God every time. Hey, if you want me to come back, I'm here. But you know, but if not, man, what a great run. You know, what a full life I've lived. Mainly because of my wife. I want to make sure I come back.
Yes. What was it? What was the issue?
It was well, your heart. If you're training too hard and you're over 50, and this was the whole message of the video that I made originally, was if you're training really hard and you're over 50 and you're not using a heart monitor, you're really kind of stupid. Because I have friends of mine who have had strokes, and then all of a sudden, left side of their body, they never get back 100%. Maybe they get back 60% or 70%, but they don't get back 100. And for me, you know, when your heart is racing, for me, it was racing between 140 and 150. And I never even noticed it till I did this this hammock where I hung myself upside down, like Spider-Man, getting the blood to come to your head. And when I spun up, I was like, whoa. And I had a really hard workout that day, you know, and I pushed myself, and I wasn't wearing my heart monitor. You'll never see me training without one again, because this is the first time this had ever happened to me. It stayed between 140 and 150. And I called my doc, who's a great guy back in Atlanta. I'm in Panama City Beach at Page's retreat at the time, you know? And I call him up, and I'm like, oh, doc, thanks for answering. It's like 11:30 at night, right? And I said, here's the situation. He said, go to the hospital. Go there. They'll bring your heart rate down, and then we'll see. And I didn't have AFib right away. My wife knows whatever the name of it was, but your heart rate's staying in that, you know, accelerated spot. And then the next morning, I had AFib, which means your heart rate's doing this. And they can control it with meds, which I don't want to be on. When they control with meds, it's like you take it the rest of your life. Like, no, go in. And what they did is they go up through your groin.
Oh, wow.
With the cameras and the electrodes up into your heart. And then they zap you. Now, when you first saw me come out when I was doing it, they did the paddles on the front and back. And my heart rate came right back. Now, you don't really need to have it done then, but if you're almost 70, which I am, and you train the way I train, you probably should go, you know, get the cardio fibrillation, what was it called? Now it skips my mind what's called cardio ablation. That's what it is. And they used to do it with where they scorched you. Now it's more electrodes, it's safer, and went great. So I had to wait for 2 weeks, which is always the hardest thing when you can't do anything for 2 weeks. Right. And so now in my 4th week, I'm back, and I'm back on track. So I feel great.
Okay, and you look great. Thank God. Thank God.
Good, you know?
And you've got this new show out, Change or Die on Tubi.
Yeah.
I watched it.
You watched the whole thing?
I did, yes.
Wow.
I saw this man right here, front and center.
Butterbean.
He sent this to me, which was great. There's the promo right there, and it's a nice mix of famous people like Butterbean
Right.
and Marcus Buff Bagwell,
Right.
and then just regular
people.
Joe Schmoes, if you will.
Yeah.
Where does the idea come from? Because to me, it was like, this is DDP. You love to help people, and the way you care, like it never feels like you are acting. It never feels like you're doing it in front of the cameras just because. It always feels genuine and authentic. How did the whole thing come about?
Oh, that's what we do every day. And either I'm working with Alex or Jake or a Marcus or Scotty Riggs. There's those guys in my life, you know? Like it was Rick Bassman who was like, you've got to help Butterbean for years. And I don't got to help anybody. They need to come to me because I don't want to talk you in it. In the beginning, it was hard for me to talk people in to doing my program. Oh, then Chris Jericho's back was completely blown out. They said his career was over. I sent him the video of the disabled veteran. He called me back 5 minutes later. He said, you tell me what to do and I'll do it. I'm like, seriously? He's like, yeah. Okay, here's where you start. Here's where you go. 5 weeks later, he called me back. He said, I'm 85% free of pain.
Wow.
Back pain, which gets everybody at some point, especially in our game.
Yeah.
And this is the time he's 41 years old. What is he now, like 53 or something?
Yeah.
Friggin'. So he says to me, he says, I'm addicted to this. Is everyone feel like that? I said, people that get rid of pain, now a lot of people will stop. Pain's all gone. You know, then all of a sudden they reach for a pencil and the pain's, oh my God. When you do what we did for a living, fall down, you know, hard with some guy crashing down on top of you. The first time Macho Man landed on me, I was just laying there with my eyes closed. And then I felt like the explosion out the left side of my rib cage. I thought my guts were all over the place. I was like, oh my God. But he was 44 then. You were his crash pad. And if you were in an angle with him, you were lucky enough to be there, you wanted it. You know what I'm saying? But in our business, falling down, it's like, it's part of what we do, and then figure out how to get back up again. So all of those people I've been working with all the time. The beautiful thing about Chris told everybody. He told everybody from Dustin Rhodes to AJ Styles to Matt Cardona. I mean, everybody. And that doesn't happen when you're a professional athlete. When you're a professional athlete, the way Chris is, and Chris is an all-star everywhere. Music, podcast, the stuff he does with the dark side of wrestling. I mean, there's nothing that he's not in. He is a workaholic, but he still makes time for his family and his kids. And I know because at one point, he wouldn't let me do anything for him. I said, I'm getting you tickets for your whole family to come first class, come to Mexico, and let me at least say thank you for giving me legitimacy. The disabled veteran, then Chris Jericho. And then when Jake and Scott, you really can't. You know, you can't say what I'm doing isn't working. Plus, it's 20 years later. I'm still doing it, and I can still do most of the stuff that I could do 10 years ago. So for me, you know, helping all those guys, that's a part of it. Helping regular people is much bigger part of it.
So how does that happen? How do you go from being the guy who helps his famous friends to now helping regular people? Well,
it's always been like that. You know, I did it to help me. And you have to understand something. I'm the guy
who introduced you to this. Like, do you remember
Kimberly? Kimberly,
your wife, your first wife, yes.
My first wife, my first ex-wife. But she's amazing. She's the COO of our company now.
She's the COO?
Yes, she is. Yes, she
That's
is.
unbelievable.
Yeah,
you still have a great relationship.
We've always had a great relationship. Not a good, a great relationship. Anyone that was going to be in my life had to know. I mean, I love her husband, man. Aaron, good buddy of mine, really close. Wow. I consider them both family. Like, we were together for 13 years. And then, you know, little ups and downs when you're first splitting apart. But she was growing one way, I was growing another way. But she's the one. Like, I didn't start wrestling until I was 35, as most people know. You know, it took really, if you count my 3 years of managing, it took 8 years to become an overnight success.
Yeah.
But when the end of 96 rolled around and I had that idea for, oh, wait a minute, no one's turned down the NWO. And these two guys are like, I'm not here without them and vice versa, because I created Scott Hall's his whole thing that would eventually become the Diamond Stud, which would be roll right into Razor Ramon and Kevin. Man, when we were tag teaming together, I'm talking about, I'm a year, not even a year wrestling, half a year. And me and Kev are tagging together, and he's got a couple years in, but he's not working that much. And the money kept going down and down and down. And Kev, during his Hall of Fame speech, he said, I probably owe my beach house to Dallas, because he was there. The guy said, Kev, don't let them beat you down, bro. You're going to be a huge star. You'll be one of the biggest stars in the business. And I always saw that, really, for both of those guys. So when I would help them, then they came back. Now they're the biggest stars on the planet. And I came up with that idea. And I told Kev first, you guys ask me, want me to do something for you, want me involved in your stuff. If it was real life, and I had an attitude because I wasn't pick number 3 or 4 or 5. I want to pick me number 8. Like, if I just had an attitude of, how about no? And I walked away. You'd look at Scott look at you and go, Dally, he'll get over it. So that was the real life thing that happened. And then he said, go tell Bischoff. I said, I ain't telling Bischoff anything. I said, I go tell Scott. And he's like, bro, do you think he don't remember? He couldn't get WWF or because they were WWF back then, or WCW to call him back. He called me. I was super tight with Dusty, and I said, because he'd already been there twice, and Dusty said, we're going to give him some more time off because they've already seen him. I said, what if I could change his look? He goes, what do you mean? I said, what if you don't recognize him? And Dusty would just laugh at me and go, all right, if you really think so. And then when he saw Scott Hall, no one recognized him when he came in as a Diamond Stud and didn't say a word. And he was 295 and just shredded. And he had that ridiculously handsome face. And the walrus mustache was gone. The black hair was in. When I put that all out there to Scotty, he was like, oh, man, I don't know. I go, bro, no one's got black hair in the business except for Honky Tonk. Think about it.
Wow.
Today, how many guys got long black hair? They're all the top guys, basically. Not all of them, but a lot of them do. But no one back then was doing that. So he came up, he drove up from Orlando, and I saw his hair. I was like, dude, that ain't gonna work. We gotta get that like Elvis blue black. Yeah. And he had that mustache going, and Scott had a 5 o'clock shadow at 2.
Yeah.
Just probably, if not the most handsome, one of the most handsome men ever involved in our business. And we went there, and I put him in a bunch of my clothes that he would never wear, with Cavaricci pants, a big long rider. It was a black lamb skin coat I had that came down below his knees. He had those and flip-flops, and hadn't come up with a toothpick yet. But at that point, man, when he walked in there, he was someone completely different. So he's like, his wife was pregnant. You don't think he wants to pay you back?
Right.
I said, he's taking a diamond cutter. I got to go ask him. And I got to him, and Scott's like, I love it. Go tell Bischoff. I go, yeah, I'm going to tell who's become one of my closest friends at that time. But Bish was not what's it called? Nepotism. He was not, we were so tight. He said, when he inducted me in the Hall of Fame, he said, I had to work twice as hard. I had to work 5 times as hard just to get that attention, give me the little break here, just a little one. This was a huge one. And it was about to change my life. And I said, we'll let Kev tell him. What was really cool about WCW back then, we'd go from 8 to 11 or 11:05 or 15, whatever the after was. But at that moment, the next show to come on was the rerun. So we all go back to the bar, catching that midnight, snack and having a couple. And we talk about the business and that match. And oh man, that really worked. Oh, that didn't work that good. We'll do that again. But it was a great way to bond with everybody too. And Kurt Hennig, when I went into AWA as a manager, Kurt Hennig said to me, "You will make more relationships out at this bar than you ever will in any match, in any locker room, on the road and at the bar." And that's the way it is. Not anymore, but that's the way it was back in our day. It's a different day now. A lot of straight edge guys, which is the only reason why you see them doing all that craziness that they can do. These ridiculous superhuman moves that they can do and take the impact. Like you can't fake gravity. These guys are really beating up their bodies, and there's so many of them. Can't name one. You gotta name like 15 of them with what they were able to do, but so many of them are straight edge. And if they're not completely straight edge, they're only drinking once in a while. It wasn't like back in our day where you were judged by your manhood on how much you could drink back then. So the bottom line is those guys, Kevin put it out there, and it took 10 weeks.
If Scott, by the way, says no to that, do you think you never become who you became?
Never.
Wow.
No, because that lit a fire. And he wanted to do it. He goes, I love, Kev wanted to do it too. I'm like, we're lucky if we even get Bish off.
Yeah.
Because Bish was very protective. That was his thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't like when WCW came into WWE and let's squash them.
Yeah.
No, let's build them so strong that they look unbeatable. And for a long time, they were unbeatable, man. I mean, and if you go back and really look, I am the first one to touch them because everything they were just positioned,
right,
but they wanted to do it. And then Savage, that was, that I never saw coming. He saw what was happening and he wanted to pull me up.
Wow.
And that was very, very, very powerful. And it changed my life forever. But without Scott and Kev doing it, Mach doesn't. Maybe he says it later, but not like that. Not with him being a part of the NWO. And really, Hogan, Mach, Mach freaking had to create his own thing.
Yeah.
And we got the feud of the year that year on Pro Wrestling Illustrated. And number 2, or tied, I'll say, was Bret Hart and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's crazy, man. And all of that is why I've been able to take DDP Yoga and turn it into becoming a household name. And Change or Die is going to even take that to a different level. The crazy part about Change or Die is, all it is what we do, my business partner, Steve Yu, my entire crew. Like, you get to see them. You get to see Bill, about what you're doing, DDP. Like, no, it isn't just me. I have a whole team that are unbelievable. Steve Yu, who's my business partner, who is the director of The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. And I just saw a Tubi when I went out there yesterday that they have, it's on Amazon Prime, but they have it too. So, they'll put like shows that are like that.
Yeah.
So they've got that on there as well. So people who haven't seen, after they've seen Change or Die, if they haven't seen Resurrection, they're going right to Resurrection. But it grabs you. And it was, we stopped basically our whole business. We kept going, but everything went to that. And it all happened the same place that it happened for Jake. I reached out to friends of mine that are real performers in our world, and as far as DDP Yoga. And I said, hey guys, I'm looking for a name for my house. And my friend Christina Ann, she wrote me 20 names. And on the bottom was the Accountability Crib. I said, that's this. So it does live up to its name once again. And putting this crew together, Marcus Bagwell, it's hard for me to call him Buff because Buff is much better today, but Buff was a real asshole for a lot of times.
Like back in
Yeah,
the 90s?
just friggin', and he's an addict.
Yeah, yeah.
Look at him today. I can't say I'm proud of him enough.
Yeah, yeah.
Because every time I see him doing something now, I'm like, wow, dude, that's so good. Oh, man. The first stop was, because Marcus was when you're an addict, you are all about lying, cheating, stealing, whatever it takes to get that high. I learned that from Jake, being with Jake on and off for so many years. And then when it came right down to helping Jake get there. So Marcus, I mean, he could be such an asshole at times. I wouldn't call him Buff anymore. He just became Mark or Marcus, and that's all I would call him. And for years, he would be, man, I know you helped Jake out. Will you please help me? Now, I moved Jake into my regular house, and there was no woman in my life at the time. Not at the time. Scott, too, came in. They both lived with me. I lived with a man in 30 years by that time. Stopped living with guys. I was like 23 years old,
Right.
But it was really important to have them there and every day, because just like resurrection, same thing as when it comes to change or die. These guys over here, we could have named that. Resurrection of Jake the Snake. We could have called it change or die.
Right.
Because thank God we got 10 years out of Scott, but it was COVID, and not COVID that is, the thing, whatever the hell that shit is they made up. It was the seclusion and the fear that went with it. And to lose Scott, we wouldn't have lost Scott if it wasn't for COVID. I really believe that. But it could have been called change or die, because both of those guys, do you remember, and it was really towards the later 80s, but all through the 90s, on the internet, it was called the Deadpool.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And
we actually just had Raven on last week talking about that, how he would be offended if he wasn't high, like it was like a badge of honor.
right.
That's crazy stuff.
Steve, but Jake and Scott were always one.
They were, oh, yeah.
They
yeah,
were,
yeah.
because they were so far past. Like Rave, yeah, he hit some really hard friggin' times.
Have you seen him recently?
Yes, I have. I love this show. Have you seen
The new documentary?
Yes.
Yes. We saw it, and he told me he's battling early onset Parkinson's,
Right,
which is
yeah.
unfortunate. But he seems to be in a great place.
Yeah, he really
Seems
is.
to be at peace.
We both have changed so much from when you're at, especially at the bottom, because me and Scotty were on the bottom together. I got him the job. It's not me. We were in 1994. We did Hulk's first tour, and I was on that tour. I was the curtain jerker, me and Duggan. And I'm watching TV, but there's nothing hardly in English at all, but there's MTV. But it's the European version. And I don't even really know hardly any of these bands. Oh, all of a sudden I see Aerosmith, I see Bruce Springsteen, but I don't really know these bands. So I got home, and Kimberly was in the back seat. My buddy Tony Palagrossi was driving, and he's a big promoter. And he knew all of them. He was the biggest promoter in New Jersey. And he said, so who's representing that community? And I went, wow, no one. He goes, who do you think could? And before I say anything, Kimberly goes, Scotty could. I went, oh, wow. Because he needed to find something away from, yeah, boy.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah,
Because you're never going to not see him there.
No.
And I called him up. I told him the idea. And then he worked on it, and he worked it, and he worked it. And there was moments where that would come out, and I go, oh, yeah, click. And I just hung up on him, Me and Nash used to go, mute. Like, mute.
Oh, because he would talk so much.
Yeah, mute.
Smartest guy in the room, he said.
But when it came to this point, he was going from this Raven character that he came up with that name, which I thought was amazing. And then when I always say there's my side, there's your side, and then what really happened. Again, this is my recollection. And Scotty, he got to a point where I was like, wow, like, I think you've got it. So I pick up the phone, I call Paul Heyman. He may remember that different, but I called him.
Wow.
I called him and I said, Paulie, I said, Scotty's got something. It's really different. I think it totally fits everything you're doing up there. I said, I would love that. I'd love you to do something with him. And, but no, I really gonna want him to come back here at some point.
Here, meaning WCW.
WCW.
Yeah.
See, they were creating no new talent. And I hadn't been created. There's no Goldberg. There's nobody. I'm the one who helped Disco do his thing. So many guys. Raven would be at the top of the list because I love Scotty. And as much as we would banter back and forth, I love the guy. And I think he's one of the most, what is it called? We're not here. He's, what's it called where you, people don't talk about him enough. How good he was.
Underrated.
Underappreciated. All of that. Like, Scotty was so good. I mean, man, his psychology and calling a match, man, it killed me that I couldn't put him all over the very best of Nitro, but I'd also pulled Benoit into that because.
What do you mean when you say I couldn't put him?
I couldn't, because when they did the very best of Nitro, they wanted to know what I thought it was.
Oh, they would ask you.
Oh, here's okay. I said, send me your script so I know what I'm doing. And I said, okay, cool. I read it. Like, a week goes by. Finally, they call me. Did you get the script and everything? I said, yeah. He said, what do you think? I said, I don't think you want me to do this. He goes, no, you're the guy. You're the face of WCW. You're the guy. I go, were you watching show back in 96 and 97, 98? Were you watching back then? Oh, yeah, I sat right next to Kevin Dunn. I told him everything was happening. I said, then you're well aware that for a long time we were fucking beating the shit out of you. You know all about that, right? Yeah, of course I do. I go, I'm not going to say shit that's not true because, I'm getting to get back on TV with, the people who freaking didn't want us there to begin with. Like when I went to Stone Cold's, and I've been on 24 podcasts with him, but when he finally did one out at his ranch, and the WWE built him a beautiful set and everything out there, and I flew out to see him, he asked me, he said, did you realize how much heat you guys had coming in when you came in? I was like, no, I never would have came. I never would have been there. So I didn't realize
and they were trying to bury you with the stalker gimmick.
Is it because I don't look at it as me personally.
Is it because you hugged Vince?
I think that could be part of it.
Is that true?
But
you hugged Vince?
That is a true, and people would, if I said that, I'm so glad you said that, because people thought it like, oh God, he thinks he hugged Vince. He did, he started doing it. No, he did. I would love to ask him, because I have no.
You never asked him?
Never. I've never gotten a real conversation past the beginning with Vince. I don't really know Vince, but when I got there, we were there. It took so long to get there because of the traffic and everything for me and Kim.
Oh, literally it took so long.
Yeah, it took so long to get there that, it was like 3 hours late we were, 2 hours or something like that. And when I walk in, Vince, of course, shakes out his hand. I go, I'm not shaking your hand, bro. I've waited my whole life to meet you. I'm hugging you.
This is the first interaction.
First thing.
Wow.
Yes, and how many hugs did he do after that?
Yeah.
It was like right over happened. After a while, I really found it was funny.
Did you know what your plan was before the hug, before the first interaction, or was he pitching you?
No, they told me they wanted me to stalk Take's wife.
And you're married at the time.
Yes, and Vince is there, Shane's there, and Kimberly's there.
And how'd she feel about it?
Well, if I was in WCW,
yeah.
If they told me that bullshit angle, I'd go, fuck you. Seriously? I'm going to be stalking somebody else's wife?
Right.
If I would have thought that was actually, I didn't realize, all right, because I was there was no reason for me to think that they were going to, not even give me an opportunity. I just did Take's podcast about 5 or 6 months ago, and what a great. I mean, he was so amazing, and we had such a great talk. And I'd spent some time with him on his new show LFG because they brought me in about finishes, and then we got to the part where we're going to talk about WWE, right? And I have no idea where he's going to go with it, but I'm just going to go on the ride because he put me over so huge going into that. And then he said, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly how he said it, but I've been not accused, but I've had some fans who are really pissed off at me because they think I was trying to ruin your career. And we've had such an amazing moment up to then. And I could see Mark Calloway just going, don't they realize I'm not the booker. This is not me. This is not me. And I just reach across his arm and I put my hand on him. I say, Take, we're good, bro. Let me tell you let me tell you what positive thing came out of that. And this is how I look at it all the way around. Would I have loved to have had a real run with Take later? Would have loved that. Would I have loved to have had the real round with People's Champ versus People's Champ? Absolutely. But the thing that it taught me was you can't be afraid to walk away from the table when you have something that they want. What I should have done, when he said that, I should have just done my inner voice, which would have laughed out loud and said, Vince, are you looking at my wife? Seriously? And of all people, I'm gonna go after Taker's wife? Like, no. It's a horrible idea.
Was it his idea?
It wasn't mine.
No, I know.
Austin told me later, he goes, they pitched it by him too.
Really?
Yeah, he told me that. That's how I remember it anyway.
What was your ideal scenario? Like, what were you
People's
thinking?
Champ versus People's Champ,
Come
bro.
right in there, yeah.
That was the money.
Yeah.
The only time I'd met Rock before, I never met him until it was right around 98-ish. And I'd gone up, because Big Show was up there, and he had the belt. And he was actually in Toronto doing a Saturday night show. We had a pay-per-view the next night. I don't remember which pay-per-view it was, or maybe it was Nitro we were on the next night. And I get with bringing Paul, and we're going to go out. He's got to go out and get his bags. Rock was the last deal, and he was doing the second main event because he's the champ, but ain't nobody following the Rock back then.
Right.
And he said, hey, you want to meet the Rock? I said, I'd love to. And go in a huge locker room. It's so big in there. Rock, are you still in here? Yeah, I'm in the shower. And he says, great, I got some huge Mark who's dying to meet you. Bottom line is, when he came out, we talked. He was such a gentleman. And
you hadn't signed yet?
I just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal with WWE.
Okay. With WCW?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's no WWF at that, WWE at that time for me.
And they were okay with you being back there?
That's what was interesting. Classy Freddie Blassie brought my tape from the AWA, my reel. I got to meet him, who I loved growing up as a kid. And I got to meet him because of my buddy Lee Marshall. And Freddie and I became friends. Freddie brought my tape in for Pat to see. And Pat goes, oh, got a great look. This guy, he can talk. Look at him. He's like 6'8". He must be like Andre the Giant as a manager. Done. Then when Hogan and Warrior were getting ready down in Tampa, by that time I'm working Florida Championship Wrestling and the AWA still, Pat is there to help them lay it out. What's going to be the big spots that they're going to have to do. And next thing you know, it's me and Pat, we're talking. He goes, Diamond, I really enjoyed your reel. He said, but again, you're way too tall to be a manager in this business. So we had that actual time together, just talking about the business. And then that day that they were wrestling that night, I think at Air Canada
Center.
Yeah, and he was sitting behind me the whole time.
Oh, wow.
And I didn't know it. And when I got up to get in the bag, I'm like, Pat, he goes, Diamond. He said, I've never seen anyone do what you have done. To come from where you came from without knowing anybody, no family relations, to get to where you got to, and then to actually really become a really good worker. He said, I'm blown away. I just want you to know that. I was like, wow, man. That was like, bing,
Yeah.
and to me, big time moments,
Of course.
And I said, Big Show's he's the champ, and I kind of got him ready for Hogan. I got him ready for Hogan because I was down the power plant all the time because they weren't doing anything with me. So I'd work with Paul getting ready for Hulk. And I said, we rode together, we roomed together, everything, because Paul got all this shit free, and I didn't get anything, nothing paid for years. And I said, do you think I'd come by and see him? He goes, sure, come on by. When I walked in that door,
I can't imagine.
they rushed me so fast up to that sky booth that Beth, Show's wife, who's Toll's sweetheart, and her whole family, she's Canadian, so she was up there.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how that whole thing happened.
Did they try to bring you in for the original invasion? Did anyone even reach out to you?
Well, I think that the original was when we did come in.
Well, no, because there was that first wave of guys. You came later.
I don't know. To tell you God's honest truth, I don't remember.
Okay, yeah.
Not the best memory.
Yeah.
But it was really, what I was getting back to what I said to Tate, the really cool thing that I got out of that. You can't be afraid to walk away from the table when you know you have something. I knew DDP yoga was something 8 years where it made nothing. All I kept doing was investing money into it. So much so to the fact that when Kimberly and I got split up, she didn't do 50-50 with me. She took what I offered her. Now, she could have fought me for it, but I said, in this scenario, you know what I'm trying to do. And I used to say to her, how many times does Moses have to part the Red Sea for you not to believe in me? Think about it, and most people don't know this, but I started wrestling through, I wrestled for like 7 or 8 months, I think it was. Me and Kev were tag team partners. I tore my rotator cuff, and Bill Watts let me go. Like, there's that whole year, like no one saw me, but I never stopped working. And at some point, she's like, you need to get a real job. Like, maybe go back into the bar business because we're barely getting by. And I said to her, you need not let that door hit you on the ass on the way out if you don't believe in me. And she just, okay. She was 23 at the time as well.
Yeah.
Not 33, you know what I mean?
Right.
And I was 13 years older than her. So she's like, wow, he really does believe in himself. And there's no rhyme or reason why I did. I just saw it. I tell people all the time, the people say, I believe it when I see it. Unfortunately, those people never see shit. But the people say, I believe it because I see it. There's not one superstar, from Rey Mysterio to John Cena to Cody Rhodes, I don't care who it is that you've seen on top, who didn't see it when no one else saw it. And that's the power that everyone has. And that power is what I tried to bring to Change or Die. It's why, the reviews, have you seen what some people are saying about it and everything?
I haven't seen reviews. No, I just watched.
Just people talking about it online. Because let me read you one from my mentor. This is my mentor, Scotty Sloan. And Scott, he's always been there for me to ask business questions. He used to be top guy at friggin' Palmolive, Colgate, whatever it's called. I can't remember the name, but those big companies. And now he's a consultant, travels all over the world. This is what he says. This is October 4th. Sitting down, big cup of coffee. I've downloaded Tubi. Going to watch the first episode, have a bowl of fruit and off to the gym. October 6th. Okay. I surrender. I'm adopting Taylor. Taylor's a big boy.
Yes.
And,
what a sweetheart.
And man, right now there's a video up on all my social media right now of me not walking around the block, walking around the house.
With him?
Yes.
There he is right there. We just showed him.
So I said to him, what episode you on? He says 6. I said, okay. I said, keep me posted. The next day, okay, I've finished the journey. First point, I need therapy. What a roller coaster ride. A 12 on a 10 scale. Now, you gotta remember, this is a guy who is a mentor of mine.
Right.
And I really look up to. And he says, I haven't had much room in my life for heroes, but you, sir, have carved out an everlasting space. Like,
what a compliment.
It's, to me, that's a compliment. Like, in 1997, I get a call. I pick up the phone. Congratulations. I go, Jake? Yeah. Congratulations? Congratulations for what? Reinventing the DDT. That's the moment, bro.
Right.
That's a moment to me like I would never have dreamed would happen. But that, like, Diamond Cutter was the hottest move on the planet.
Yeah.
And I love that the RKO took it to places I couldn't. And did it better on so many different levels with some of the height that he put into it. So I got a lot of respect. There's a guy who's should be on everybody's bringing Mount Rushmore, because that cat, and you got to add the run in all the time he had and everything. Randy Orton's a hell of a hand.
By the way, speaking of Jake, true or false, a scripted film on your relationship is in the works right now.
Yeah, there actually is.
Are you allowed to talk about this? I could tell you my source. It's a good friend of mine named Rory.
Yeah,
Rory Karpf, who's a brilliant producer, director, who's done a whole bunch of 30 for 30s, did a series on CM Punk. Just an absolute genius when it comes to this. But this is a sort of scripted thing about your relationship with Jake, correct?
It's really about, and we've had a couple of guys come on and they've tried to write but they did a version that the writing was great. I mean, really great, but it didn't capture what they wanted it to be, meaning the resurrection. And that came out. I mean, it's been going on for years. I don't really talk about it because it's positive bullshit. It's positive, but it's bullshit.
Why?
Well, it's just life, you know? It's like, and you know how hard it is to get something made, bro?
No, I know. Yeah.
It's so, people don't realize how hard it is. The fact that Rudy ever got that made, and I've been with Rudy. I've had him, do DDP yoga with me because he saw Arthur's video and wanted to friggin' I want to do what that guy's doing. Like, Rudy is an awesome cat, but the fact that he ever got that made with 2 plays and got Angelo Pizzo, one of the greatest writers on the planet, to write it, it was a miracle that really happened. But again, he saw it and he believed it because he saw it. And everyone has this ability. A lot of people don't believe they do. So you don't. So it's so, to me, for a lot of people, it isn't, well, it's always the glass is half full or half empty, right? Well, for most people, there is no glass. Like, you don't even see the glass. And hope. We're not in the fitness business. DDP yoga is so much more than that. And that's what you see. Did you see that in Change or Die?
Yeah, of course.
And I did, when no one will ever call it a reality show to me, because it was real. Everything was happening. Conflict will always come when you take 5 completely different people. You don't have to write it in. If anything, it pisses me off because I'm trying to get you to do what happens in our DDP yoga community. We have, it's not mine. I have DDP Yoga, of course, has a site on Facebook, on a presence of almost 1 million people. And there's the members. And the members started with my buddy, I always screw his name up, Chris Gabriano. He started the Facebook page to help each other stay DDP Yoga, one word, to stay accountable. Basically, accountability grid, but you're on all over the world, and there's 5 of you, and you're helping keep each other accountable. Well, now there's 78,000 of them. And you would never, it's a safe zone. People come there looking for hope. And all it takes is putting the work in and keep moving forward. Don't stop. I got to read this to you. This is off of that page. And every Friday I do Fabulous Friday. And I go there and I go looking for what people write. Because before you know it, it's going to be skipped off because there's only so many things, right? This guy's name is Brandon.
Okay.
He says 1 year ago, after 2 years of having DDPY but never using it, I decided the rubber has to meet the road. Otherwise, the car won't reach its intended destination. This is brilliant right here. The hardest workout is and always will be pressing play. Once you accept it's going to be difficult, it's amazing how easy it becomes. I have 3 herniated discs and multiple back surgeries. This is the reason I found Diamond Dallas Page and DDP Yoga. Not a wrestling fan.
Wow. Wow.
I read comments here a lot of people who doubt themselves or worry about useless things and making excuses like I did 2 years prior. Here's some advice that may help. For those who will start Monday, they need to prepare. Preparation is essential, but after a certain time, all that's left to do is act. Any more preparation is at best a waste of time, or at worst, a comfortable lie we're indulging in to protect ourselves from the possibility of failure. For those who, I don't know how to do this, I'm not good at this. This is the greatest line, and I'll use this in speaking and reading, just like this, for 1,000 people at a corporate gig, right? Embarrassment is the cost of entry.
Wow.
When I've got all those people out there, I'll go, so tell me, anyone out there, and now hands are already going up, they haven't heard what I had to say, did something unbelievably well the first time they ever did it. They all came down. I go, you know why you all came down? Because embarrassment is always the cost of entry. If you aren't willing to look like a foolish beginner, you will never become a graceful master.
Wow.
I hope this helps others. I know I get inspired by other posts, and maybe this helps someone too. I know you can't give someone the desire to change, but maybe this lights a spark. Thank you, DDPY, DDP, and Paige for saving this father of 2 beautiful little girls' life.
Wow.
And extending it a few years. So that's emotional, obviously.
Yes. Why does it make you so emotional?
Listen to that. Because there's a guy who believed, if I get this, I know this can help me. If I get this DDP yoga, I know it can help me. And then you go into that making excuses. But he still signs up for it. And he knows it's going to roll over. And I haven't quit yet because I haven't let it lapse. I haven't quit yet. And then one moment He says, at some point, the rubber has to meet the road, or else we won't get to our intended destination. He got sick. I mean, as soon as I see that, I have Robert or Pat, find this guy's number. I need to talk to him. Because I got to tell him, wow, dude, like you hit me emotionally with that. Like if fans really knew, and anyone who does my program, who's been a part of the YRG all the way to DDP Yoga, to DDPY, it's all the same thing. The ones who put the work in get my attention. So go back to Change or Die on Tubi. It costs nothing for Tubi. That I was so hoping this company had taken us and pushed us out there. I was so happy when it was Tubi because it didn't cost anything.
Yeah.
And people are sharing it and telling others, like Scott freaking writing that to me. I mean, I've had the most beautiful things written to me. The Rock. Well, Sylvester Stallone. I'm not even going to read this one because I want you to read it.
Okay.
This is what
I wanted to know if LeBron James has hit you up yet.
I put it out there.
Has he?
Not yet.
Not yet? Come on, LeBron. He's got sciatica. The thing went up.
All right.
He's got sciatica, and you put it out there, and it exploded. I think people want to see you and LeBron.
I had a picture of LeBron doing a diamond cutter, going down to court at one point.
That's right.
And he's a huge wrestling fan from back in the day.
Yes.
So read what Sylvester Stallone wrote.
Congratulations to Butterbean.
Stop there. So Butterbean, he had seen that video that was going viral a little over a year ago.
Okay.
So go ahead. So
a real warrior, and I am stunned, all caps, by Diamond Dallas Page and his extraordinary healing abilities. Right beneath that is The Rock, who says, incredible work, my brother. Respect to all of you. Left you a voice note.
Unbelievable voice note. He, I think I got to play this first part of it.
Okay.
Because this is who The Rock really is. I won't get into what he does after that said stuff, but because he was just so gracious. I got to search it for I think it is Rock. The first part of this, all right, how do I get to, all right. They keep changing everything, and once they change it, I get completely lost. I am going to be 70. I'm not 17.
You're doing just fine, and you look fantastic. I hope I look like you at 69.
Okay, let's see here. The Rock.
DiamondDallasPage.com.
Gosh damn it! What it gets to?
Change or Die. Do you want me to help you out?
Yeah, I want to just don't. This has got to be my messages people leave you.
Sure, the direct messages.
Right.
On Instagram.
Right.
It's at the bottom. You see, it's like the little arrow. You want me to? You trust me?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're searching here. Are we on Instagram here? Yeah, we are. No. Where are we? 1 second.
Instagram's the top, right?
Yeah. 1 second. Let me just get out of here. Okay. Here we go. You know why? It's saying no network connection for some reason. Oh, because you're on airplane mode.
Oh, that's why.
Put yourself on airplane mode. I could have taken you. That's why nothing was coming up.
Like, what is happening here? Okay.
Then I thought The Rock blocked you. I was like, oh no, this is very awkward right now. You can't find him.
He's such a classy cat. He'd never do that. Plus, I'm always watching his stuff, man. I love it.
Did you see the Smashing Machine?
I haven't seen it yet.
It's very good.
I heard he like
I highly
Oscar
recommend it.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna play this one that he
You found it?
Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
All right, so I'll put it up to here.
Yeah, just put it full blast audio.
Yo, Diamond, what's up, my brother? It's Rock here. I wanted to check in with you. I got a few things for you. All good. Number one, dude, I just saw the post for all the work you're doing with Butterbean. I just watched 2 minutes of it, and I just wanted to pause it and just fucking hit you up, man. And just tell you what great work you've been doing, and you and your colleagues who run your business or who help you run your business. All you guys are doing just such tremendous work. And I love all the work you've done with the boys over the years. And I love the work you're doing with Butterbean, dude. And also, keep up the great fucking work. But what if we can? I love that quote from your colleague, Steve. That's the life, that's the world we live in. But what if? What if we can? Man, I love that. I'm going to leave you a second message here.
Wow. That's unbelievable. Very sincere guy, very
yeah.
genuine. But that's got to feel like $1 million freaking bucks.
It was awesome because he took what we live and he does, of course he lives it too. What if? But what if we can? When I saw Butterbean walk in hunched over, like you can't stand up straight.
Yeah.
He wouldn't hunched over just playing. I mean, he tried, but it's between his hips and his back, and he had to lose the weight before we can get the hip surgery done and all that. When he walked in though, and I'm watching one person after another, walk in there like really bad. And I'm like, God, Steve. I go, wow. Man, how are we going to help him? And he said, but what if we can? And that's what Rock was, that's why I played.
Of course.
Because he is the
Why though? Why are you so, like, why do you do this? Why do you devote so much time to other people? And I don't say this, because I know there's people out there who will say like, oh, Diamond's, he's Didi me. I hear that because everyone
so
thinks there's another angle. Everyone thinks that, oh, he's working. So I don't see any of that in you. It's all genuine. You've asked me 1 million times, come, and you've asked nothing from me. And I know you do it to so many other people, well-known people, not well-known people. But why? Aren't you ever tired? Aren't you ever saying like, leave me alone. Let me just go sit on a beach with my wife and, just kind of chill out.
I just build the most beautiful 4-story Pages retreat so people can come to me. And already had Johnny Morrison down there. Darby comes down all the time. They can come to the beach. And I've got 3 rooms that are on the Gulf of America. Cracks me up every time I think about it. But three rooms that are on the Gulf, private porches. I put heated floors in the bathroom and towel rack and bidet. They're in all the rooms. But it's the most beautiful place. My family was just down there with me. Everybody, my brother Colin and my sister-in-law Patty, but everyone else was there.
This is your home. This is where you live.
So we live in Atlanta, but our main residence is now Florida.
Okay.
Because we live on the beach. It's two full kitchens, so we can be all by ourselves, and there can be a whole boatload of people downstairs, which I will do when I do retreats.
Okay.
And I'll have someone running all that for me, and we will be there to inspire people to believe. Again, that's when I talk about change or die. I just wanted those people to start to believe. And one of the girl Cece. She's right here. She's from, I want to say Queens or Brooklyn. I'm not sure which one. But what an unbelievable transformation she's gone over. And it's been like 3 years since we actually shot that. And where she is today, and she looks so beautiful. And man, she just has so much energy, and like she got it. Like she got it, because it's not a workout show. It's not a change your diet, but on a smart, what real food is. Yeah. Like we'd only cook real food, and that's why I helped Scott and Jake when they were so bad. If you change the food and put real food in their mouths, well, they're not leaving, so they can't even eat the shit. But by eating real food, you start to take away inflammation in your joints. And that's what really, as you're getting older, you suffer from getting, beat up, and then you put garbage in your mouth. How's it expected to heal? And that's why I had to tell Marcus, like all the way through it, he was he was still an addict till the end. And then we sent him to rehab. And then he came back. And then he's lived at the accountability crib for friggin' over a year. And we're not filming anything or anything that. I just gave him a place like I did with Jake. And I had that to give at that time. And here's the cool thing. He was getting people lined up for his, what's with the Vice show again?
Dark Side of the Ring.
His Dark Side of the Ring. And he called Scotty Riggs, of course, going to call Scotty.
Scotty Riggs looks fantastic.
Yeah, but if you'd have seen where Scotty Riggs was then, he was not fantastic. He looked horrible.
Yeah. I saw you posted a before and after.
Arn Anderson said the greatest transformation in bodybuilding history, as far as from nothing to a body, like in 6 months.
Yeah.
But the teeth that were, because every time he was, he'd save up to get his teeth done, something go wrong with his mom, and he was taking care of his mom. So he'd spend it on mom. So he didn't have the teeth. They were nubbed down to it. And Scotty's not an addict at all. Like you'd think, well, he must be a meth addict or something. No. It was when you can't take care of your teeth, they're going to get worse. So I told him, I said, if you can do a transformation the way I know you can, never thinking he'd do what he did, because it was just off the charts. I said, if you can do that, I think I can talk that company that we work with to giving you their teeth. And they did. And those guys sent me a letter with a box that opened up that showed them helping a disabled veteran who was helping homeless veterans. And they came through for Scotty, and that's why all of a sudden he looks like a damn model.
He looks fantastic.
Yes.
By the way, I'm sorry about Hulk. When you saw that news, how did it hit you? This is a friend, a contemporary. How did you react?
Hard. That was a tough one, man. That was a really tough one. Tell me, you ever thought that Jake the Snake Roberts would outlive Mach, Piper, and Hulk? I know why Hulk isn't here. It's because he pushed himself too hard. I mean, you had to see him all over the place with the, with his beer, All-American beer, and they're opening up a All-American, Hulk Hogan's All-American restaurant and bar.
Oh, that too, yeah.
And the wrestling thing he was doing with Eric. I mean, Hulk never stopped. And I consider myself in much better shape than he was. And I wouldn't have taken on the schedule that he did. And I hit hard because Hulk was a huge force, that helped me. Like if he didn't see it, like he literally, remember the tour I told you about, that first tour when I was the curtain jerker? We were in Berlin and I walked through the curtain and he grabbed me and he pulled me over. He said, how you doing it? Like, how am I doing what? He goes, I don't see you on TV that often. But when I do, I'll see you come up with something I've never seen you do before, and you get the people involved. He goes, but then I don't see you. He goes, this is what they're doing with you, right? They're putting you on the road so you can learn your craft. I said, Hulk, I've been on the road in 4 months. He's like, what? I said, only reason I'm on this tour, because my real name was Paige Joseph Falkenberg. And the Krauts love their Germans. And I got a smoking hot wife that walks me to the ring. I said, I wouldn't be on this tour. He said, well, how are you doing it then? And I said, well, I guess it's working. I go down to power plant. He goes, what's that? This is the predecessor. This is the predecessor?
Yeah.
To the performance center.
Yeah.
That's where I would work out with Triple H back when he was terrorizing.
Yeah.
And he said, well, how are you doing? I said, I've been working with the young guys. And what I've figured out, and this works for absolutely everything, the more you teach someone something, the better you get. The better you get, the more people notice you. And Hulk said, what? And he didn't get it. He said, whatever you're doing, you need to keep doing it. Because it's not this year or next year or the year after. He goes, but somewhere down the line, I honestly feel that you have the ability to draw huge money with me. And he walked away. And all I could think about was, oh my God, did Hulk Hogan just say he watched my matches? So now, time to get on the bus. And I'm walking up the stairs. I hear Diamond. He always called me Diamond. I always called him Hulk. Never called him Terry, because to me, that's who that guy was. Pulled me in. Bischoff sitting in there. He goes, everybody knows you boys. You guys are boys. He said, I think if you start getting them to do something with him, because Eric was not the Grand Poobah yet. He was of the collective.
Right.
And he told, I think somewhere down the line, he could draw some huge money with me. And now I'm thinking to myself, a lot of people think it's all about who you know or who knows you. But I don't think that that's what it's about. I think it's about who's willing to say they know you. Who's willing to put their name on the line for you. That's what he just did for me. And he's the biggest name in the business at the time. And remember I told you I could see it. Jake was the first. Dusty, as a talent, he loved me. He was a big brother to me. He was a mentor to me. Sometimes he was a dad to me. It took me getting let go and coming back a year later and him being down that power plant, because I kept going, even though I wasn't working with a company, and Jody Hamilton kept letting me go. So if I wasn't doing something with Jake on the road, I was down the power plant. And I had a meeting with Dusty. I'm coming back now, right? I'm going to come back to WCW. And I got this whole idea, fishbowl angle. I'll reach in the fishbowl and pull out, another jobber, another enhancement guy. But then I know I could get those wins, get a little bit of momentum. And after Dream, here's what I got. He goes, D, I know you are within yourself as the top performer in our business. And I got to be honest with you, D. I've never seen it.
Wow.
Until yesterday.
Wow.
So now Dusty goes, I don't know how you got here. I don't know how. He goes, but whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So now it's Jake, Dusty, and then Hulk. Well, Eric brought me up and told him what Hulk said. They didn't see it. And Bischoff said, let's do this. Let me give you your release. Go up to New York, get over, come back, and I'll be able to pay you the money that you think you deserve. I took a couple deep breaths. And I said, this company's never made one guy, not one top talent. I said, I'm going to stay here.
Wow.
And I'm going to keep going and keep going and keep going until at some point I stick my fist right up the booking committee's butt. And when I move my fingers, their mouths move. And bro, that's an exaggeration, but
you did it.
I did it. And then all of a sudden, I love Kevin Sullivan. I love Ric Flair. I love all those guys. But there's times we butted heads, And I get it. Why would they think I could ever handle it? Look at him. He's a joke. He doesn't know who he is. When Page Joseph Falkenberg stopped trying to be Diamond Dallas Page, and Diamond Dallas Page started taking on the characteristics of Page Joseph Falkenberg, that's when my career went through the roof. And it happened because of the relationships I built with Eric, with Kevin, with Scott, with Mach, now Hulk. If you go back and look, the second pay-per-view of all time for that company is me and Malone against Rodman and Hulk. And I guess he was right.
When did you get into the backstage fight with Scott Steiner? This is Big Papa Pump, like in his prime, right?
Oh my God, he was scary. Back then, he was scary. It's so funny because me and Scotty today are really good
You're friends, yeah.
We go, I've been to his kids' games and stuff. I love his. He's got a beautiful family, and it's so funny. I told him, I said, all I'll say is, Scotty, is I've been to Japan and I've tussled with Godzilla and I never want to go back.
He disrespected Kimberly, right?
No, it wasn't. It was more than anything. It was, it's just like everything. Things you're trying to get over at certain time or not. And people they get too caught up in their own gimmicks.
Okay.
And so, to me,
you have to let him know.
Yeah. Well, again, I'm on a great spot. I don't go back, and there's a lot of things over the time when I went through. I could have stayed like wound up about or pissed off about or whatever. Again, from Vince McMahon, put me in that position.
Yeah.
I don't hate him. If anything, I freaking really appreciate it. Because in the bigger picture, I can't tell you how many deals I almost went in on and then didn't do it.
Because of the lesson you learned there.
Yes.
And you correct me if I'm wrong, you took a pay cut, right?
Dude, I left $487,000 on the table.
From your previous deal. They said you're
the WCW.
Yeah, they said you're only coming in for X amount and you took it because you wanted to get in.
Well, they weren't going to let you in unless you took 50%.
Crazy.
Yeah. And you had to wait.
Yeah.
And it was just the play.
Yeah.
But I had also a lawsuit with them on gimmicks like that they never were paying us for.
Sure.
And so I had to let go of that. And they gave me 70% of my money.
Okay.
So I left $487,000 on that table, man. It was a lesson.
Well, you're doing just fine.
I won't make the mistake. I'm doing fine now.
Change or Die on Tubi. Go check it out right now. There it is. DDP Yoga.
Yeah, changing world, man. Changing lives.
I saw you with Paul Walter Hauser.
Yes.
What a guy.
Dude, his last match. Did you see that last match? He's him and QT.
Why does he do this? I don't understand, but he loves it. Yeah.
He was living with me.
Yeah.
When he friggin' went down to Anthony Gogo and was hitting the ropes and taking a little bump here and there. And, oh God, my ribs. Now he's jumping off ladders through tables.
He's unbelievable.
You got to put him, you have to look at him as a hardcore wrestler, man.
Oh my gosh.
He's really stepped it up, and it made me and him really tight. He's good people. He's so genuine, and he loves our business.
Yeah.
I just saw he did Buff's podcast the other day.
He's unbelievable. By the way, I want to thank you. I have this right here by my side. You're by my side right here. This is one of my favorite pieces in the studio because this is like old school.
That's old school. That's porcelain there too.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, they only made X amount of those.
So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for coming in.
Oh, it was fun.
You're an absolute. I mean, what can we say about you? You're salt of the earth. You're a mensch, as we say. Do you know what a mensch is?
Yes, of course.
A gentleman. You're a true gentleman.
Yes, of course.
And the way you help people, the way you devote your time and your life and your patience, it's really admirable. This world needs more people like you. Unfortunately, we don't have, and that's probably what makes you so special because you're one of one. You're such a unique soul. You're such a genuine, loving person. I appreciate you so much. So keep up all the great work, and I urge everyone out there to check out the show on Tubi right now. It's free to download. It's free to watch. I watched it and enjoyed it immensely, and I know you will as well. So Diamond Dallas Page is the man. Check out DDP Yoga as well. He's going to help LeBron James get back to the court soon. That's the plan. We'll take a quick break. We'll say goodbye to the great DDP, the master of the diamond cutter in our studio, living legend. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button for us. Also, give us a thumbs up, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. And while you're here, do check out the rest of the channel. We've got live shows and full interviews, clips, and a whole lot more. We're doing big things here, and we appreciate your support very much.